So, Ford just dropped some huge news about their 2025 sales, and it looks like a major comeback for the legendary automaker. But when you peek behind the curtain, past those big headlines, there's a really surprising story about what's actually driving their success. So let's dig in. The big question is, how in the world did Ford pull off its best sales performance since 2019? Well, the answer is way more complex and honestly a lot more interesting than you might think. Okay, first things first. Let's start with the big news, the top-line story that's got everyone talking. So here it is. Ford has officially confirmed that 2025 was its best year for vehicle sales in the US since way back in 2019. Now think about that. After all the chaos with supply chains and market swings these past few years, that is a massive milestone. So how big of a leap are we talking about here? A really solid 6% increase in US sales. That's a super healthy growth number. And Ford's pretty proud of it, saying it helped them beat the rest of the industry for 10 straight months. A 6% jump is fantastic, no doubt. But let's get into the nitty-gritty and look at the actual raw numbers behind this whole comeback story. 2.2 million. That's the magic number. That's how many vehicles, cars, trucks, and SUVs, Ford moved in the US last year. I mean, just trying to picture that many vehicles, it's a massive number. But we need a little context. While 2.2 million is incredible, it's still just a little bit shy of the 2.42 million they sold back in 2019. So it's a huge recovery, and man, they are getting really close to hitting those pre-pandemic highs again. So they sold a mountain of cars. But where does that actually put them in the grand scheme of the US market? Let's see how they stack up against the competition. And here's the leaderboard for 2025. Ford locked in the number 3 spot, finishing as the third largest automaker in the country. They're right behind Toyota and the overall sales champ, General Motors. So yeah, they are firmly in the top tier of a super competitive race. All right, now this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. That big sales number is impressive, yeah? But the real drama is happening under the hood. Let's break down what's actually selling. I mean, with all the talk about an all-electric revolution, you'd think that's what's driving all this growth for Ford, right? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. Get this, a whopping 86% of all of Ford's sales in 2025 were traditional gas-powered vehicles. 86%! So despite all the headlines and all the buzz, the good old internal combustion engine is still king when it comes to Ford's bottom line. And here's the real plot twist. While Ford's sales of all-electric vehicles actually went down by over 14%, their hybrid sales surged by almost 22%. It's like customers are flocking to that middle ground, and you can bet Ford expects that trend to keep going. But look, the year wasn't all just smooth sailing and victory laps. Let's take a look at some of the real challenges Ford ran into and what they're saying about the future. A major hurdle popped up with their crown jewel, the F-Series pickup. I mean, this is their cash cow. They had some serious production issues at a supplier's plant, and that caused some major disruptions for their most profitable product. Period. And you can see the impact right here in the data. For the whole year, F-Series sales were up a strong 8.3%. But then you zoom in on just that fourth quarter, right when the problems hit, and sales were down 3.1%. It just shows you how critical that supply chain is. Even with those headaches, Ford's official stance is super optimistic. You have their executive, Andrew Frick, saying things like, "We're really pleased with where we finished the year," and reminding everyone they outperformed the industry for 10 straight months. Clearly, they're focused on the overall win. So when you boil it all down, Ford's best year since 2019 was powered overwhelmingly by gas engines, with this huge surge in hybrids making up for a surprising drop in EV sales. And that leaves us with a huge provocative question. With car buyers sending such a clear signal, are hybrids, not pure EVs, the real future of the road? The entire industry is watching to see what happens next.